I have lives going on a couple of different places, and I don't know if I'm live yet on Facebook. It's been a month of Sundays. When I say a month of Sundays, I mean a really long time since I've gone live on Facebook or even felt compelled to go live on Facebook. But I'm currently live on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So if you see me looking at different places, that's what it is. And I'm trying to look at my computer right now to make sure that I don't miss any messages on Facebook, because I'm not sure if I can see it. It's putting the wrong, I don't want that pinned comment up there. I don't know how to get it off though. But anyway, if you guys want to join the group, you could join the group, but that's not the pinned comment I wanted up there. But anyway, I want to pop in real quick, say hey to the people. I haven't said hello to you all in a very long time. But I also want to share some thoughts about some things that are happening just in life and in general. I went to church today, not obviously, but I go to church pretty much every week, unless there's a reason to miss. And the last couple of weeks have been pretty profound for me, and I want to share some of that as it relates to TikTok, because there's a reason that there's a problem with this message. I believe there's a reason that there's a problem with this message. Somebody needs to hear this. So, anyway, last week I made a post about Mother's Day at church and what the experience was like. And I want to kind of share how my mindset shift, which I actually had to lean into shifting my mindset as it related to my healing journey, how it has made all the difference for me and how I help my clients to do the same, right? And I'm just basically going to be talking about my personal experience on today. And if anybody has any questions, obviously, you know, I'm always open to answer questions. But last Sunday, if you saw the post, you know, and I posted it on TikTok and Instagram, I talked about being at church on Sunday when he called up all the mothers. He called up mothers and daughters, or mothers of daughters. I'm not real sure, but I was both, right? And so I stood in the line to wait to hear what it was he had to say. And he decided at the last minute that he was going to instead come in and bless every woman who was there. Now, the thing about it was there were hundreds of women standing up there, so I knew it was going to take a long time, but I was right up front. I was right up front in the place that as soon as he came down, he was going to see me. But when he came down, and I'm talking about Pastor Keon Henderson, and when he came down, he blessed the woman in front of me. There was a woman and her two daughters. He blessed them, and as I'm thinking, okay, I'm next, he skipped right past me. And in my mind, I had the thought, he overlooked me, right? And the moment I had the thought, he overlooked me, I had a counter thought that, but I didn't overlook you. I see you. So I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's me making that up. I don't know if that's God, but whatever. I'm going to roll with it and recognize that there was a time, right? There was a time, particularly when I was in the throes of depression and anxiety, and it was really difficult for me to navigate the healing journey, because it felt like I was getting hit in so many different angles, right? It felt like I was getting hit by so many different angles. And anytime that anything negative happened, as much faith as I had, I would lean into the place of whatever is the the most negative. So where I was in a space where I would say, you know, he overlooked me, instead of countering it with, but you know what? Even if he overlooked me, I saw him bless my best friend twice. I saw he's in the building, right? Because I was able to reframe it for myself, in spite of what negative thought could have come up, I was able to sit in a place of gratitude. I was able to sit in a place of gratitude. And when I was able to sit in a place of gratitude, I did not allow what looked like an oversight to overtake me and take me into a really dark place, which, come on now, I'm a mindset coach. I'm a breakthrough coach. I used to be a licensed therapist. I was a licensed therapist for 21 years, right? Well, I was licensed as a therapist for 21 years. I didn't practice all 21 of those years. I know how this works, right? I know the tools to use, but when I was in the darkness, right? When I was in the darkness of depression and anxiety, it was really hard for me to reframe those things. And what I found is reframing has become a superpower, right? It's become a superpower. So as I'm standing in that place and he's walking past me, and when I say y'all, he walked past me 3 different times. 3 different times. And one of those points I said, okay, God, if If that was your voice and not mine, then I'm going to get blessed, right? It's going to happen for me. And right after I said that, he came and stood right in front of me. When I tell you he walked around the whole church. He came, stood right in front of me, and then hopped back on stage. And I thought to myself, okay, well, if not now, that wasn't it. Maybe it was me making it up in my head, but I still recognized and reconciled with myself that I had not been overlooked, right? Follow me, y'all. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Somebody needs to hear this, right? Somebody needs to hear this, because in that moment I decided that whether it was God telling me that I wasn't overlooked or me telling me that I wasn't overlooked, I believed that I wasn't overlooked in that moment. And because of that, I was able to lean into gratitude, right? I talk about gratitude a lot. It's one of the things that I believe has made the difference in my life. Gratitude and faith, obviously faith, but leaning into gratitude allowed me to be grateful for the moment, be grateful for the fact that my best friend got it twice. And I know if my best friend's getting blessed, I'm getting blessed too. The blessings in the neighborhood, right? Instead of being in a place of being negative, it's so easy to be negative when there's so much to be negative about. And so that's why I want to talk a little bit about why it's important to prioritize shifting your mindset and understanding that we get to control a lot of the narrative of our lives. We get to control the whole narrative of our lives. And sometimes we're listening to the enemy, right? And the enemy may be the devil. The enemy may be depression. The enemy may be the voices of the people who talk shit about you. The enemy may be anybody else's voice in your head that's not speaking life into you. And if you allow that voice to be louder than the voice of gratitude, than the voice of faith, than the voice of self-empathy, self-compassion, self-love, it will be very, 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 very easy to find yourself in a space of despair. So recognize we get to choose. We don't get to choose our circumstances. Sometimes we do, right? Some of us are victims of circumstance. So I want to acknowledge that. And I also want to say we do get to choose our circumstances because where we're at, our life is a direct reflection of some choice, right? And whether it's the choice to stay too long, whether it was the choice to go, whether it was the choice not to believe in yourself, whether it was the choice not to believe what it was that God said about you, whether it was a choice of not doing the work, we are where we're at. But that does not mean you have to beat yourself up while you're there. Acknowledge where you're at, acknowledge why you're there, acknowledge how you get the heck up out of there, right? And that's not to victim blame anybody. That's just to say that we are one choice away from changing the rest of our lives. And oftentimes that choice starts here. That choice starts in our mind, the mindset, who it is we decide that we want to be and how we want to think about ourselves is going to be, it's germane to our healing. It's germane to our healing. And if we do not allow ourselves to get into the space of contradicting the negative voices in our head, the negative thoughts, the self-doubt, the times that the enemy, whoever your enemy is, chooses to tell you things about yourself that do not align with who it is that God has told you are, who it is He designed you to be, then you will find yourself perpetually beating yourself up and ending up in a space. So I was having a conversation with my best friend earlier today, right? And for those of you who know, we live together, and so she's right down the hall. So we have these types of conversations all the time. And if you're on Instagram, you saw one of those conversations on a live that we did last week. But I was talking about like a thought that I had that could be a negative thought about my situation, right? And we all have negative thoughts about our situations. I don't care how great your situation is. I don't know where the thought came from. I'm in a really good place. And she asked me like, what happens when those thoughts come, or what do you think the thought comes from? And I said, I think the thought is just a part of being human, right? It's a part of the human experience that we're going to have negative thoughts. We're going to have challenging thoughts. We're going to have thoughts that tell us that we should be doing something different than what we're doing. We should start doing something. We should stop doing something that doesn't always feel good, right? and then we could take ourselves down a dark path. And when she asked what was the difference, right? The difference between how I was and how I am, the difference is that I lean into gratitude in every moment. And so in places where I might have watered the seed, right? Because the thought is a seed. Any thought that you get is a seed. And you get to decide what you're going to water that seed with. Are you going to water that seed with doubt? Are you going to water that seed with fear? Are you going to water that seed with frustration? Are you going to water it with hatred? Are you going to water it with gratitude? Are you going to water it with faith? Are you going to water it with love? Are you going to water it with self-appreciation, self-empathy? You get to decide what you water the seeds in. And the seeds come from everywhere. The seeds come from people. The seeds come from places. The seeds come from things. But you are in charge of watering that seed. And if you do not take control of what you water that seed with, you're going to be fertilizing and growing weeds. And you're going to grow things in your mind that you don't understand how they got so big. And here's the thing about a weed. I don't know if you've ever seen a weed, but if you plant some beautiful plants, you can plant some annuals, you can plant perennials, you can plant all the beautiful flowers. You have that planned out, right? If you've ever planted a garden, or if you've ever planted flowers, most of the time you take your happy tail on over to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever your nearest nursery is, and you buy the plants that are in the color scheme that you want, that match up how you want them to be, that are going to feed and nurture each other, and you put them in their particular place. And you have control over that, right? Because you read the instructions of how to take care of these plants. You are very intentional about the fertilizer. You buy the big, y'all know that big red or yellow bag of Miracle Grow, right? You buy the intentional fertilizer. You're very intentional about what you use to grow it. And sometimes it doesn't grow as fast or as tall as we desire, right? Despite our best efforts, despite us giving it the water, despite us putting it in a place that it should be, despite us doing all of that, sometimes when we water the seed, it does not grow as fast as we desire, right? And sometimes, this is a word, sometimes the plant that you got that died this year is the plant that flourishes next year, right? What are those? Are those the perennials, the plants that grow every year? So sometimes you can buy a dead plant. Come on now. Sometimes you could buy a dead plant. You could put it in the ground. You could fertilize it. And even though it looks like it's dead, because you are fertilizing it, because you are giving it the Miracle Grow, because you are doing all the things that are necessary, even if you don't believe that it has any life in it, in the following year, it'll show you that it has life. Come on, Tia. I see you. Come on, Tia. It will show you that it has life. But you know what does not need a bit of care to grow? Do you know what does not need a bit of care to grow? A weed. A weed does not need. A weed will just pop up out of nowhere. A weed will just come without any preparation. It was a seed planted. It was not nourished by you. It was not taken care of by you. You didn't put no Miracle Grow on it. You didn't do nothing to it. And you know what? Sometimes the weed will grow faster and wider than the plant, than the flower. Come on now. That has been intentionally taken care of. And so you have to be very intentional about what you are watering, right? Because imagine that weed's going to grow with or without your assistance. Come on now. That weed's going to grow with or without your help. You don't have to do anything to grow that weed. But that flower needs some help. That flower needs some help. That flower needs some help. But now imagine if the help that you're supposed to give the flower, you've been giving to the weed. The help that you're supposed to be giving to the flower, the fertilizer, the nourishment, the water, the love, you've been giving that to the weed. Keeping in mind that the weed's going to grow fast and far with and without anything from you. Tia said, and choke the flower out, and it will choke the flower out. Come on now. You are a step ahead of me. It will choke the flower out. And because sometimes, come on now. The other day, I was at my sister-in-law's house. And I walked in, I was like, oh, those are cute little purple flowers that just sprung up randomly in her yard. And she was like, oh, I need to get rid of those. Those are weeds. And I was like, wow, they are so pretty. Like, they're pretty weeds. Because sometimes it's hard to tell the weed from the flower. It's hard to tell the weed from the flower. So you have to have enough discernment. You have to have enough discernment to know what you need to water so that it can grow. And the problem is, too many of us are watering seeds indiscriminately. We are watering seeds indiscriminately without discerning or deciphering whether that's a seed that we want to grow into a beautiful flower plant that's going to give us love and joy and bring the butterflies to us. Come on now. Or if it's a weed that's going to choke out all the beauty in our life. What are you watering? And so in the conversation with the bestie today, right? And when she asked me about it, I said, because now in the places that I used to water the seeds, every seed used to get watered in fear, anxiety, doubt, self-abuse. Self-abuse. There are so many of us who are wonderful people to other people, but we are horrible people to ourselves. Right? I just changed what I watered my seeds with. Even if it's a seed of doubt, right? Even if it's a seed, even if it's a weed, right? Even if it's a weed, I'm going to recognize it as a weed. I'm going to uproot it. And then the seed remnant that's left behind is going to get drowned out in love and faith and gratitude. And that has made the difference in my healing. It wasn't easy for me to change my mind about myself. It wasn't easy for me to change my mind about my life. It wasn't easy for me to not wake up every day anxious. It wasn't easy for me to come out of depression. It was not easy. But the easiest thing, the thing that I had the most control over, was what I told me. Thank you, Tia. Tia said, that's a good word, sis. It was what I told me. And that's what I start with my clients. The very first thing you have to do, is be intentional about what it is that you say to you and which seeds you are watering. Y'all need to check. You giving Miracle Grow to the wrong plant. Hey, Ramel. Ramel the bestie. She's over on, what's that, TikTok? She's on TikTok. I got TikTok. I got IG. Because somebody needs to hear this. When I tell y'all, I have not been live in a long time, and I'll tell you what happens. And when I talk about the enemy is very sneaky, right? He's sneaky, but he's predictable. So at the end of the year, right? And I typically, when I do a training, I'm a corporate trainer, I'm a speaker, I am used to getting rave reviews. And it's not because I think I'm all that good. It's because when I walk in, I allow the Holy Spirit to do his thing. I pray before every training. I do all the things I'm supposed to do. At the end of the year, and this is like full transparency, not in the speaking realm, but more in the coaching realm, I got some feedback that didn't sit right with me. Now, I'll give you an idea of, I have a coaching program that is basically, you prepay for coaching. It's not therapy. When I go on here, even though I may have been a therapist, I don't purport to be a therapist. I don't want to do therapy anymore. So I'm coaching. You prepay for coaching sessions. And I don't think that I was clear enough in what that process looked like as a coach. And someone had a negative experience, right? They had a negative experience because I didn't show up how they expected me to show up. And that was difficult for me to hear. And as someone who takes pride in how they show up in their gift, I felt like I dropped the ball. And that me dropping the ball had hurt someone. And subconsciously, right? Because I don't think I even consciously thought about it. I started backing away from a lot of the things that I was doing. I started backing away from going lives. I started backing away from a lot of the teachings. I started backing away. The enemy is sneaky, but the enemy is predictable. And I know that the enemy's greatest way to impact me is to impact how I show up. and impact me showing up. Because I know there are times that I can show up and one person will be on a live, and that person will text me 3 months later and say, I was on that live and you blessed me. I was on that live and that thing you said was the thing I needed to do. And so ego, I don't know if it was ego, but apparently, right, that was a weed that I started to subconsciously water. So we have to be cognizant of what it is that we're paying attention to when our actions start changing, how we start moving different. And of course, I had enough stuff to keep me busy to where it didn't seem like it, but I like to sit back and be a little bit reflective. So as I reflect on, I haven't gone live in a long time. I haven't talked to the people. I haven't shown up and served the people. And then I start looking at patterns. If we're not willing to look at patterns in our lives, we'll get stuck in revolving doors. And so as we identify the patterns, I recognize that I allowed a weed to grow. I allowed a weed to grow, and I allowed that weed to get watered by self-doubt and disappointment. I allowed it to get watered by self-doubt and disappointment. But I checked myself. I'm correcting myself, and I got to show back up, because I know the power in my voice. I know the purpose that I have, and I know that delayed obedience is still disobedience. So I'm gonna try to get better, right? Tia said, "Woo," because Tia, like, and I'm the type, I will go spells of doing the work, and then I'll shrink and I'll do some other work. But today I was literally talking to Ramel, and I was like, I need to go live tonight. And you know what? I'm tired. I'm hungry. I didn't feel like doing it, but I knew I made that commitment, and I need to show up, because I don't know who needs to hear this. It may not be anybody that's here right now. Somebody might catch this 3 weeks later, and they may need to hear it. So I'm showing up for that person. I'm not showing up for me. There's one viewer on here, and I promise you that viewer is me. On Facebook. That viewer is Tia, because Tia is bad about it. I see you, Tia. But I want, as we're leaning into this, right, I want you to think about the times that you've allowed a seed that was the seed of a weed to grow and choke out the flowers you were supposed to be bringing in life. The ways that you were supposed to show up. The beauty. The butterflies. And we all do it. We all do it. It's not just me. I just caught it. But for the most part, I tell y'all, when things that are quote unquote negative happen in my life, I don't fold like I used to. I used to fold, y'all. I used to, when anxiety and depression had me by the ropes, I would fold. Now I embrace it with curiosity. So I'm going to ask you, how curious are you about what it is that God is doing in your life right now? When things start shaking up, when things start shifting, when people start leaving, when you are completely in disbelief and you don't understand how that thing became a thing that shouldn't have been a thing, get curious. Get curious. I know every time that I've gotten curious, it's kept the fear at bay. Every time I've said, okay, God, I don't know what we're doing, but I trust you. I don't know what we're doing, but I trust you. And even when I said that, when I was afraid, I don't know what we're doing, but I trust you. I said it until I believed it. I watered a seed with faith. I watered a seed with curiosity. I didn't water a seed with condemnation. I didn't water a seed with certainty that this has to be a bad thing. I said, okay, God, because you've been so good to me. So whatever's coming, it's got to be good. It's got to be better than the thing that left. So yeah, that's all. I just showed up with a little message on today. I try to do it more often. If you don't see me, holler at me. Say, where you at? I've been known to do a office hours where I actually allow for live coaching. There are people who want to coach with me who aren't able to afford one-on-one with me, and I try to serve people the best I can. So I show up for a coaching session. It's a group coaching session, so it's in front of everybody. Also have a product that's one way to get almost like 6 sessions with me. It's a virtual product where there's teaching modules, and then there are workbooks that you're able to work through your healing process. And I talk about what it takes for the peace blueprint. I take what it was that I used in my life to get myself to where I'm at. And I developed a framework, and it's on the internet and available for you to use at your disposal. I had it priced at $149, and I took that price down to $49 to make sure that people could access it. And it even has an afterpay option, so everyone should be able to access that. And if for some reason you can't, holler at me. But it's thepeaceblueprint.com. In most places that you're at, it's in the link in the bio. I'm going to put it in the chat over here. And that's one way to get some of what I do in a way where you could do it at your own pace, and you can work through your healing journey. And look, it's what worked for me. Once I got my breakthrough, then I started calling myself the breakthrough coach. Once I got my breakthrough, and I worked like hell for that breakthrough. But again, it started right here. And I talk about choosing your mindset in the Peace Blueprint as well. I talk about choosing your mindset and the power of that. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to be back, and I'll be back more often. So if you want to see more, make sure you set your notifications. If you're not following me already on the TikTok, make sure you're following me. Set your notifications. I'll be back. Most of the time on TikTok, I'm talking about the journey of being over 50 and divorcing. My ex-husband and I separated when I was 50 years old. We've been married, or we've been together 28 years. So I spent from the time I was 22 years old till I was 50 with that man. I'm 54 now. I'll be 55 in a couple of months. And I've been navigating these last 4.5 years as a woman who's on her healing journey. And it's not necessarily just healing from divorce. It's healing from all of the things, right? And recognizing that a lot of us are walking and we're wounded. We're walking wounded. And what it looks like to heal, not just from the outside in, but from the inside out. And I've taken people along on that journey with me. I've also helped thousands. And when I say thousands, I mean thousands of other women through that process, and men. I have male clients as well. So I just want to do more showing up in this way so that people can get what it is that they need from me at whatever level. Whether it is you do one-on-one coaching with me, whether it is you do the group program, whether it is you do the virtual program. Hey, Cheryl. Whether it is that you access the free group, however it is, I'm committed to showing up more. And yeah, so that was tonight's. I thank you all for coming through with me on this evening, and I will see y'all. I was going to say tomorrow. I didn't mean tomorrow, but maybe I'm supposed to show up tomorrow. Stay tuned. All right, y'all. Bye. Bye, IG. Hey, girl. Bye, TikTok. I'm singing. Hey, girl. Oh, wait. It said I still haven't ended the call.